keep in mind, my right foot is going this way, the force of direction is going this way, my left foot force of direction is going this way, which gives us a pelvis that turns. So if I have this jar of peanut butter and it's got the lid on it and I want to open it very easily, I'm going to have opposing forces. Remember what I said, right foot going back, left foot going forward. If I twist the jar in a clockwise rotation, which is to my right, and I twist the lid, which is my pelvis, to the left, counterclockwise, what do I have? A whole bunch of torque. Hey golfers, Tony McMullen, the founder of Smart Golf Academy here. Today we're going to find out what a jar of Jiffy or JIF peanut butter can teach us about our golf swing in the form of ground forces and how our rotation works. Specifically, how our connection to the ground works to make our pelvis turn. It's going to help you to understand how to do that more efficiently, how to get more out of it, which is going to translate for the weekend golfer to a better strike, a more compressed golf ball, and better distance. Okay? Real quick before I get to that and the Jif peanut butter, if you're not already a subscriber to our channel, we would love for you to be one. We've got over 1,000 subscribers. We've helped a whole bunch of people to learn to enjoy the game more, play it better, and increase their performance. And we'd love for you to become one of those people, one of those golfers. So if you'd be so kind, we'd love a subscription, maybe a like. And if nothing else, if you're a peanut butter lover, give us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Okay? So real quickly, what I want to do here is I want to give you a mental picture of what the jar of peanut butter, how that's going to basically simulate us. Okay? So the lid unscrews, right? And then we've got the body of the jar. So this is what I want you to picture. The lid of the peanut butter is basically your pelvis, how it turns, how it rotates, and that kind of thing. I'll get back to that in just a second. The bottom of it here is going to be your connection to the ground and those forces that are applied to make your pelvis turn the way that we need it to turn so we can hit the ball as well as we can efficiently. Okay? So first things first, let me explain hip rotation, or better yet, disconnecting the hips. Okay? So let me grab a chair here. All right, something that will kind of clear this up for you. If you grab a high top chair like this, if you have one at home or somewhere like that, or you can grab maybe your countertop at home or something to that effect. If you have nothing else, when you have your golf bag out, grab your driver and hold on to it. And you just want to get yourself a stationary position with your upper body here. And you should be able to turn your hips without turning your shoulders. Okay? So you are actually separating your hips from your body, the hip turn. That's something that we want to really be able to do in our golf swing. Now, whatever your body will allow for, some people are more flexible than others. Obviously, if you're younger, you're probably more flexible. If you're older like I am, maybe you're not as flexible. Fortunately for me, I get to hit golf balls on a regular basis, so I can stay pretty flexible. But if you're a little tighter there are some stretching exercises that you can do that'll help you to get a little bit more loose in the hips and help you to turn a little bit better. But we want to get to where we can separate the hip movement from the upper body movement here, okay? And when I get into this jar of peanut butter, that's going to make perfect sense to you. So now as we get into that, the ground forces that are required to make your pelvis turn correctly, that's where this comes in, okay? So if I want my hips to turn like so, okay, my feet, I have a connection to the ground, but there are forces that my lower body, my feet, those lower extremities are doing. What's important is the direction. It's always the opposite. So if I want this hip to turn forward in that direction, the ground force of my right foot, my trail foot, is actually going backwards, okay? When you watch Scotty Scheffler swing, he's got that swing where he gets here and then all of a sudden the foot slides behind him. Okay, that's a good example of those ground forces where he's actually forcing, the force of direction is going behind him to make this hip turn this way. Okay, the opposite is happening on this side. So for me to push this hip back, my force of direction is forward. So I have basically my right foot is going back, my left foot is going forward, okay? What does that create? Well, when my wife goes to the grocery store and comes home and she wants to open a jar of something and she can't open it, she hands it to me and says, here, Muscles, open that for me, okay? So as I stand here, I've got two ways to open this. If this represents my pelvis, okay, and I put my left hand on it and I hold it in my right hand like so, but my right hand doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. It just stays right there. All the force of pressure is on my left hand and my left arm to open this, okay? Well, if it's on there pretty tight, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. What does that give us a picture of? Well, for those of you who are weekend golfers that really don't use your lower body, you're trying to take the lid off by really using your upper body, and you're trying to get more out of your upper body than what it probably can give you anyway, which can result in swing path issues, club face issues. You don't have as much speed as you would normally have, not to mention how you deliver the club to the ball. Just a whole plethora of issues, okay? What do we want to do? Keep in mind, my right foot is going this way. The force of direction is going this way. My left foot, force of direction is going this way, which gives us a pelvis that turns. So if I have this jar of peanut butter and it's got the lid on it and I want to open it very easily, I'm going to have opposing forces. Remember what I said, right foot going back, left foot going forward. If I twist the jar in a clockwise rotation, which is to my right, and I twist the lid, which is my pelvis, to the left, counterclockwise, what do I have? A whole bunch of torque. Makes it very easy to open this jar of peanut butter, okay? Your golf swing should give you the same opportunity. So when you swing, this is what we should have. When you swing back to the top of your swing, okay, right before you get to the top, your good players, your low handicap players are already starting to turn their lower body to the left. We know for this to turn to the left, the right foot is working back, the left foot is working forward. Those are our force of directions. And our pelvis, while that's going on, is twisting to the left. That happens or starts to happen right near the top of the golf swing, okay? You want to feel those forces in your feet, those ground forces, ground reactionary forces. Now we can get into the vertical force, the rotational force, and all that kind of stuff, but I think before you get that far along, you really need to understand, how do I create what I want? The jar of peanut butter gives you the sense of how you want to create that. So if you grab a jar of peanut butter, and if you're right-handed, of course, right hand goes underneath, left hand goes on top. The lid represents your pelvis and how it turns. So we have forces turning to the right, the pelvis is turning to the left, and we end up with a whole lot of torque, a whole lot of forces that help us to hit the ball a whole lot more solid. We have a whole lot more fun. Which, by the way, if anybody can tell me how I could get JIF to endorse me when it comes to showing how their jars of peanut butter illustrate a golf swing, I'd love to talk to them. Okay? Work with this. Understand the concept first, then the application, and I think it's going to really affect your golf game in a great way. You're going to love what you get out of it. For more tips like these, I'd encourage you to go to smartgolfacademy.org, the online academy, where there are over 80 videos on there to help you play your best golf. We are going to make you a better player.